Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you the process of making farmer's cheese. Growing up in Russia, farmer's cheese, or tvarog, that's what it's called in Russian, it was a big part of our family diet. My grandparents lived on a farm, and my grandma always made yogurt, sour cream, fermented baked milk, hard cheese, and of course tvarog, or farmer's cheese. When I moved to the United States, one of the things I missed was farmer's cheese. Store-bought ricotta cheese or cottage cheese have nothing to do with the real taste of farmer's cheese. So I started to make it myself, like my grandma used to do it when I was a little. Farmer's cheese is a healthy milk product that is good to have in the refrigerator. It's high in calcium, it contains protein and probiotic cultures. The reason I decided to make this video is because farmer's cheese doesn't only make a great snack on its own, but can also be used to make cheese fillings for buns, pies, or crepes. You can make sweet dough based on it, cheesecakes, make stuffed pasta or lasagna, crumble on top of salads, and much more. Cheesemaking also produces a lot of whey, which I will tell you about later in this video. To make the farmer's cheese, we'll need milk. I used to store-bought whole milk. It's better to buy whole pasteurized milk instead of ultra-pasteurized, as the cheese will have a lot of body and flavor. We'll also need a big pot, sieve, and a cheesecloth. Pour the milk into a big pot. It doesn't matter what temperature milk you are using because we are going to warm it up. Turn on the stove to low heat, place the pot on top and cover with the lid. Warm it up for 15 to 20 minutes. To start the fermentation process, I like to use a blend of whole milk, plain yogurt, and sour cream. You can also use soured milk kefir, which can also be bought in the grocery store, but in my opinion, using plain yogurt and sour cream together makes a more flavorful and delicate farmer's cheese. We need to combine the sour cream and plain yogurt. Another thing that I like to do is to warm them up in the microwave for 30 to 60 seconds. The mixture should be approximately the same temperature as the milk, and it will also be more liquid and easier to stir in the milk. You can check the temperature of the milk with your finger. It should not burn the skin, or you can use a thermometer. The temperature of the milk should be somewhere in between 92 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, pour the yogurt mixture into the milk and mix everything very well. Cover the pot with the lid and place it in a warm place for up to 24 hours. I like to preheat my oven to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, turn it off, and place the pot inside. This is how the milk should look after the fermentation process. It's been about 20 hours and my milk has a thick consistency, almost like the consistency of store-bought yogurt, and it has a nice sour smell and taste. The next step is to warm up the milk over low heat to separate it into whey and soft curds. Cover the pot with a lid and heat it for 20 minutes. I want to bring to your attention that the milk should not be boiled. If you think that by increasing the heat you will make the process faster, you are mistaken. If the milk boils, the cheese will have a rubbery structure. This is how it looks 20 minutes later. As you can see, the whey started to separate from the curds, but most of the mixture still looks like yogurt. Cover it with the lid and let it sit for another 20 minutes. Now it's been 40 minutes total, and as you can see, we have much more whey and some curd formed on top, but on the bottom it still looks like yogurt. So I will let it sit for another 10 minutes. "50 minutes passed in total, and as you can see, all the milk has separated into whey and curds. We can turn off the heat. Next, place a sieve on top of a large bowl and cover it with the cheesecloth folded into 2 layers. Pour the hot cheese mixture into a sieve. Let it sit until most of the whey drains into the bowl. Next, we need to tie the corners of the cheesecloth and hang it to drain the rest of the whey. Usually I tie the cheesecloth to the spout of the kitchen faucet and let the leftover whey drip into the sink. You can also use a wooden stick. Tie the cheesecloth around the stick. And hang it above a deep pot. Make sure that the cheesecloth doesn't touch the bottom of the pot. The more whey will drain out, the drier the farmer's cheese will be. I usually let it hang for 3 to 4 hours. I like my cheese on the dry side, that way I can use it in a baking or eat it with a dash of sour cream. Now let's talk about the whey. Some will call the whey liquid gold. It has multiple health benefits and contains different types of vitamins, minerals, and more. You can store it in a glass jars or sealed container in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. You can use it for making whey bread, cook oatmeal, quinoa, or lentils in it, soak beans, grains, and nuts, make a sourdough starter, make a salad dressing, or marinate meat in it. You can also freeze it in the ice cube mold and add it to your protein shakes and smoothies. Make a face mask with it, or you can freeze it in a muffin tin and use the whey as a starter in the next batch of farmer's cheese. I use about 2 cups of the whey for a gallon of milk, and it's only a small part of things that you can use the whey for. After 3 hours, my farmer's cheese is ready. Usually I am transferring it to an airtight container and keeping it refrigerated for up to a week. From a gallon of whole milk, I got 965 grams of farmer's cheese. I just love this fresh mild cheese with a crumbly texture and subtle flavor, and I can't wait to make my kids' favorite farmer's cheese pancakes, or syrniki, that's how they're called in Russian. I really hope that my video is useful to you and inspires you to make this healthy homemade farmer's cheese. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.